What is the craziest experience you've had with local police in a foreign country? I was in Lagundri Bay, Nias, off the Sumatran west coast in 1989. I'd gone to rendezvous with some surfers I met a week previous in Sumatra, Java. It was 3 or 4 Aussies, a Scotsman, and a South African. They urged me to meet them there so they could teach me how to surf. Lagundri had not yet become as well known as it is today, so it was a remarkable place. The woman who owned the surfer hut I stayed at, or loisman as they called it, was a young single local woman named Gusty. She had made me an offer I couldn't refuse. I'd pay her just 30 cents a night for my room in exchange for taking the bulk of my meals at her restaurant, which was below my room. When fishermen came ashore in the afternoon with giant red snapper, tuna, shark, marlin, Spanish mackerel, squid, octopus, and whatnot, I'd buy a big old fish for a few bucks and give it to Gusty to barbecue for dinner. She'd do it up with lots of chili, garlic, ginger, veggies, and rice. Then a feast for the kings. Life was good. The bay itself had maybe 20 surfer huts, which were wood and palm thatched 2-story buildings, all in the one area, each with a restaurant and other facilities below, with up to 7 to 10 surfers' rooms and an open common balcony for wave watching upstairs. The beach in either direction from this bay in mini surfer village was otherwise almost entirely uninhabited. Nias west coast stretched on and on to the north for miles, with nothing but coconut-fringed white sand. Nobody really lived along the beach because there was no life to be had there, no way to get a fishing boat into the water with its ubiquitous reef and waves. This meant Nias was a beautiful and desolate place, with only some other islands a dozen odd miles offshore to the northwest of it. One night, deep asleep after a hard day on the water, I was awoken by men shouting. Then this got awful music. I tried to sleep through it, but it was far too loud and obnoxious. I dressed, went downstairs to investigate. There, seated around the large picnic-style table at Gusty's resto, were around a dozen local policemen, most still in uniform. They had several 40-ounce bottles of Johnny Walker on the table, and were already well on their way. One of them operated a huge portable karaoke machine, which evidently had hundreds of lyric-less Indonesian pop songs pre-programmed into it. They were passing the mic, taking turns doing their own horribly off-key verses of each song. What a sight in the middle of the night. The instant they saw me, they took me prisoner, grabbing me by the arms, sitting me down and pouring about 10 shots worth of whiskey into a big glass tea mug. It was handed to me. I was ordered to minimlaw, which meant drink it up. The party shifted a gear. Other surfers soon joined us. Must have been 2 a.m. in here. We were getting sloshed with the entire police force of Teller Down, the nearby port town, maybe a 30 minutes drive from Lagundri. Things began to get well out of hand. The chief was making his men and us surfers do shots between each song. The mic is handed to me. I don't know the song, but I do speak passable Indonesian. These cops didn't know this yet though, so I think to myself, guess I'll have to make up the words to this song using the Indo I know. The vocal part of the song hits. All eyes are on me. I begin with Saya Mama Kon Kamu Baby, which means I want to eat you baby. Every Indonesian jaw in the house drops. I continue with Karina Kamu Super Setup or Because You Are So Delicious. They roar with laughter and are now 10 times more animated. My glasses topped up with scotch. I continue with the filthiest combination of words my mind can conjure. All of it in perfect rhyming verse. I have no idea where it came from, but I had some serious flow on the go. The cops lose their minds entirely. I have never seen people laugh that hard. They are falling off chairs into each other, knocking over bottles and glasses. I keep a straight face and plow on. The harder they laugh, the better I get at wordsmithing my way through this otherwise innocuous Indo-pop song in their language. And through it all stands poor Gusty in her pajamas, her hand over her mouth, trying to contain her giggles over my sudden journey into perversion in song. Some of the surfers spoke Indo and joined in. Food was ordered, more beers. The debauchery held on till dawn, when the cops crawled back to their cop cars and drove back to town, and no doubt back to some angry wives. We all slept until past lunch, awakening brutally hungover to the memory of a night like no other.